Hey guys, welcome back to How We Cope. I have my best friend with me and psychologist, Dr. Sara Pinhasi. We're going to talk to you guys today about just this obsession with what's next. I think we live in a world that's always trying to go to the next thing, and we don't stay present enough. So let's just dive into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I think we were talking about this literally the other day, but it's kind of like there's so many expectations of us and what we're supposed to do in life, whether that's like you graduate from high school or you're supposed to get married and you're going to have kids and what all these, I mean, there's cultural expectations, then there's societal expectations.
Yeah.
And that we just do it and then there's no celebration or there is, but it's like 2 hours and then everyone is just like, okay, where do we go next?
Yeah. What's next on our plan?
So I just feel like this idea came up for me specifically around like when I got married, but then also I just passed my boards.
Yeah.
And I remember this.
Crazy was a month ago.
Yeah. And then I remember this feeling of like, okay, I did the thing. Like I got married and it was and it was like the best thing that ever happened to me. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me because like I wanted it with the person I was marrying, not because it felt expected. But then we get home and everyone goes back into this conversation of like, all right, when are you having kids?
Yeah.
Like I haven't even married a year and everyone's already asking me like, when are you guys going to start a family? When are you guys going to have kids? And I am like, why are we not sitting in this moment that like, I'm married.
Yeah.
And can I
enjoy it?
Yeah. Like, can I just like sit here and enjoy it? And it was the same thing with my boards. Like, I passed and it was such a long journey for me. Like, this was like, let's count 4 years of undergrad, 3 years of graduate school, and then 3 years of practicum.
Yeah.
Or being an associate. So that's,
getting your hour.
So that's 10 years.
Yeah.
After 10 years, I finally passed my boards. And then it was like, that's it. Like, it's like, oh, you did the thing.
Yeah.
And there was no celebration. And I remember like feeling really sad that day because I mean, granted, it was the circumstances, but like Nevin, my husband, was out of town. And so I asked him, like, can you come over? Like, I remember you.
Yeah.
But it just like reminded me of like, I have so many friends and clients that like do something and then they become so depressed because they didn't actually sit with what just happened to them, like the accomplishment. You know?
Yeah. It's always thinking about the next thing. And going back to what you said about like being married, I think it's like so crazy where everyone's like, okay, when are you gonna have when are you gonna have kids? Because it's like once you have kids, it's never gonna be you and your husband. Like forever, like the marriage has changed until like the kids are 18 or, you know, like they become more independent. And it's I don't know, I feel like I'm not married, but like whenever I get married, I would want that time like where like you're never gonna have this again and enjoying it rather than like rushing to the next phase of like what your life should look like. And yeah, it never ends. I realize that now.
Yeah, and then it also like, is the point of being married to have children, or is the point of being married to agree to a life partnership with someone? Because then what happens when your kids move out of the house?
Yeah.
And like you didn't get, you know, that solidified time with your husband or with your wife or with your partner to know how are we two as a couple. So I totally feel that. And I think there's like, again, this obsession with growth, which is really beautiful in a lot of ways, but it's also unnecessarily stressful.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's why people struggle when like their kids leave. They're like, what's my life now? Like, because they like didn't create that identity before they had kids, like, you know, and some people like just want to be moms and that's fine. And I think like that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's like their journey. But I think like when that wasn't maybe everything you've only ever wanted, but you don't create that identity before you have kids. And then once they leave, it's like, what is my life?
Yeah, it's literally called the empty nest syndrome.
Yeah, which is like, I'm not gonna do that.
And then I think too, it's like, just because something is expected of us and we accomplish it doesn't mean that we don't get to celebrate that.
Yeah.
And that could be something as simple as like graduating high school. It's like, yes, the expectation from everyone is to graduate high school or to go to college and all these things, but that actually doesn't happen for everyone. And why do we not put enough emphasis on that? And I think, why is there not like a time for this transition period of like, now you're a student and you're just, okay, go to the workforce.
Yeah, it's like immediately you have to like do the next thing that's expected for your career. Like now you have your degree. Now it's time to like, you know, find a job or start your job. And it never ends. Like I graduated this past May. And I remember like I was not excited for my graduation. I was like, do I even want to go?
You were
like,
about to not go.
Yeah, I was about to not go because I was like, like I want to fly back. I was in Florida, so I don't want to fly back for it.
Yeah.
And just like, I didn't really want to celebrate it because I just like felt like I felt so stressed from the past 5 years of grad school that I was like, just like, I don't even care about it. Like, I just want it to be over. And it's kind of sad in a way because, like, I'm never going to have another graduation again like that. I'm not going back to school ever again. And even when you're there, I feel like the part where you're like just most excited for is just walking on the stage, and that's like 2 seconds of it. And then even I remember being there like towards the end, the like, I don't know what it's called, the person who like is doing the graduation.
Kind of like the MC.
Yeah, the MC was like, I know people like, you guys want to leave, it's hot. And I was like, come on, like it's graduation, and people like are acting like, because people were like, I think they
like
noticed
it's
people
an
were leaving.
Inconvenience
Yeah.
almost.
And I was like, I feel like that too because like I'm tired, but like looking back, it's like I wish like I like was more present there and was like, oh my God, this is my last graduation ever. So I definitely think you have to take more time, like be mindful in these like really big milestones and moments that are like really important you're never going to have again. And like celebrating them for sure.
Yeah, bringing back the purpose of like why.
Yeah.
I think that's actually where a lot of people get lost, is that they don't remember the why. Like, again, I can bring it back to a wedding process. Like, a lot of people want to get married, but I also think a lot of people think about like, oh, I just want to have a wedding.
Yeah.
And so then what happens in that process is like you lose the why. I remember the same thing of feeling like as we were getting closer to the wedding, it was so stressful that I was like, oh my God, I just want to get this over with. I can't wait for this to be done with, or I can't wait to like pass my boards, right? But we're like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You
want to get over that hump.
Totally. So maybe like, I think the tone there is to bring back this sense of purpose and understanding why you do the things that you do. Like, it's not just that you graduated from school. It's not just that you've put yourself out there and made new friends. Like, why did you do this? What is the purpose here? And can you kind of expand on that so it doesn't feel like you have to just move on to the next thing?
Yeah.
Even if that's what's culturally expected of you.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like that. Like, what was the intention of you doing this thing?
Yeah.
In those moments where you want to get over it. Like, you want to get over that hump.
Yeah, there's also something that me and you have talked about this kind of like concept that being celebrated or even asking for that celebration is like somehow conceited.
Yeah, or you're like self-centered.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to birthdays.
Totally. But and like on the subject of birthdays, it's like when you're a kid, this is what's so funny, but like a kid to no fault of their own, but like they haven't really done anything.
Yeah, but they get crazy birthday parties.
Absolutely. They get these crazy birthday parties and like everyone is like, yes, let's go and let's go celebrate. But imagine like it seems like there's a certain age, and I'm curious what people think that age is, but that when having birthday parties for yourself or for another person, like all of a sudden become, I don't know if it's like cheesy, but like, why are we doing this? Why are we celebrating? Almost like the fun and the creativity and the love that we have as children kind of just fades away when you become an adult. I kind of see it as like, you know, like the rainbow is slowly becoming black and white. And it's like really sad.
Yeah. No, and when you were talking about that, I was thinking like, first, like, I feel like it's a new trend where like 1-year-old kids have the craziest birthday parties. I'm like, they're not even gonna remember it. And like, but like me, like, you know, being like in my 20s, like I can't have like, I love my birthday, and I feel like people think that you shouldn't be like obsessed with like yourself on your birthday, or just be like, it's my day and
but
I
why
get to do whatever I want. Yeah, and you should. And even if it's not a big party, but like it's your day to do whatever you want. celebrate yourself, because you never, like, I feel like there's never another day where, like, it's your excuse to make the day all about you.
Yeah. And we shouldn't even have to have a birthday to have
you should
that.
just
Every day should be a celebration. That comes back to like this idea of just being present. But yeah, it's like we don't really throw each other like birthday parties anymore. Like I haven't seen my parents throw a birthday party for themselves, or if they do, it's like this really big deal. It doesn't happen every year. And so I would think that if we were to incorporate more celebration into our life, we would genuinely be happier people.
Yeah.
And that's across like all boards.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next point of you have to create your own celebrations. Like, it'd be really nice and ideal in like this beautiful world if people would do it for you, but they're not, everyone's in their own life and they're not going to do that.
But you should do it without people feeling or being judgmental about it too. And like wanting to celebrate you, even for little things.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are the people to keep in your life. I mean, I really remember, and it was so meaningful to me, but the people in my life that when good things were happening, they were like, when are we celebrating? I mean, what a beautiful question of like, you're not just texting me like it's another day or it's another week. You actually want to sit with this and commemorate that. Yeah. And that's really nice.
It actually makes me think, I have a good friend who has like every time we talk, she's like, wait, we still need to celebrate your birthday. My birthday was like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And she's still, because like I wasn't here like to be with her to celebrate, and she still asks. And like, it's so nice when there's people in your life who like, do you want to celebrate you, and are putting that out there, like, wait, we need to celebrate this. Because I think it's easy to forget to celebrate yourself, and then when you have that feeling, you feel more likely, more comfortable to then remember to also celebrate yourself.
Yeah, there's also like not so much cultural or religious, I think, ritual around happy things. Like, yes, the wedding, of course, but like I'm talking about like back on this idea of like birthdays, or if someone has an accomplishment, or if someone passes something that they've been working really hard for. It doesn't seem like there's so much ritual in that, versus there's really a big emphasis and ritual on depressing things, like when someone passes away, or when someone's ill, and we pay so much attention to that, as we should. But I feel like there's not this equilibrium between putting attention to the happy times and the sad times, and being able to come as a community and in your village to show up for all of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, being there for people, not just in sad times. I feel like it's so much more normal for someone to reach out for like if someone dies in your life or something, someone passes. I feel like die is such a like, I don't know, that was a big word to use. But
I've gotten so comfortable with that word, especially on this podcast.
Someone dies in your life, that felt like harder than someone. But anyways, I digress. So I think like it's important for people to like be there to celebrate the negatives and the positives in your life. Just everything. Every step of your growth, and like new things happening in your life.
Yeah, the commemoration of it all, and taking action to do that. Yeah. Because again, we don't live in a world that is going to do it for us.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people have lost that connection walking into adulthood of it's okay to be celebrated, and it's okay to like be fun and have all those childlike things that we really do lose along the way. And I think that's why there's this kind of like the words on the tip of my tongue, there's kind of like muteness, or like really like mundane, I don't know, characteristic when it comes to like what adults do on a day-to-day.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it comes from also not putting so much emphasis on our hobbies and the passions that we have. Like, we only focus on what we do for a living for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, when people introduce themselves, like, I think the older that they become, they tend to come back into this place of, hey, hi, nice to meet you, and this is who I am, versus like, sorry, not this is who I am, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Versus who I am.
Yeah.
Which is like the hobbies and the passions and the things that you grow up doing, like all of a sudden become last on the list.
Yeah.
So you have so many people that are prioritizing, the identity of being a mom or a father, the identity of being a wife or a husband, the identity of being a student, the identity of being a worker, a therapist, all the things that we identify ourselves with that don't really define who we are at a primal place.
Yeah, there's more to you than like your job. And I definitely feel like that. I hate when I like am in a conversation and the only thing that like someone talks to me about is like my job.
Yeah, like what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and it's like it's a great conversation starter because I'm sure it could like bleed into so many things, and you could ask like, how did you get there and all that stuff. But I do think that adults need to come back to their hobbies. Like I've been riding horses since I was 5 years old, and I had to stop when I met my husband because he was from New York, and I just didn't have time for my horses anymore. And for the past 3 years, in full honesty, I have felt like there was this really big part of me missing. And it would show up in so many different ways. Like I just started feeling like, okay, I'm there for my, I'm there for my husband, and I'm there for my clients, and I'm there for my friends, and I'm there for my family. And
but you're not there for yourself.
What about me? And then I recently, just a month ago, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm spending more of my time in LA now. I have no excuse. I need to get back to like, what is me? And I started riding again, and like the dirt under my fingers, the smell of the barn, like that's like the little girl feeling so expressive and fun. And like, wow, like there is you underneath all of these identities that again were expectations of you. There's this primal part. And I think that's what makes people happy is, can you do something for you that's not expected of you? Something that is genuinely because you have the desire for it, not because it's expected. And on that note, that is how you could be happy in your accomplishments. Like you graduated, you got married, you had kids, whatever it is that you did, it happened from a place of desire, not from a place of expectation.
Yeah. And I think that goes off to kind of what I was thinking about, or goes off more to like once you're kind of, I guess, like set in your career, and I think that happens for different people at different times, right? Like some people like just need to get their bachelor's and then like they're out in like the workforce, and then other people like me and you, we went to grad school, so it's like more of your time where you're kind of like in this like weird place where like you're in your 20s, and like some people are done with school and like they started their adult lives, and then like you're still like kind of a student, and then you have like the student life where like your weekends aren't yours. You like have to sacrifice a lot of your time and your personal life to be able to like get that degree. And I feel like just recently also something I've experienced is like it's like the first time in like 5 years and maybe 9 years, like including undergrad, where like my weekends are totally free. I don't have to do anything. Like I don't have to like go to the library, and it's so weird. It's so weird to like not have anything really to do. Yeah. And like now it's like time to like figure out those hobbies or things I used to be able to do and now like and I couldn't for so long. Yeah. And just on that note, I think also another way to celebrate yourself is like literally just sitting in your bed for the weekend and just chilling. Like that's so needed and so nice, and
without guilt.
Yeah, without guilt, without feeling like, and going on to what we were saying earlier about like you need to go to the next thing, like, oh, what do I do today? No, it's like totally okay to just sit in your bed after like a week of work or a week of whatever responsibilities.
Yeah, also just to protect your nervous system. Yeah. Like you just went through however many years it took you to like do something, whether that's like find your soulmate or find your career, whatever it was, pass the test. It just took you all that time, and your nervous system, whether you like it or not, has been living in fight or flight, and it needs to calm down. Yeah. And I think, again, we live in like a society that does not emphasize rest enough. It's like so many people feel guilty, exactly like what you're talking about, of just having nothing to do.
Yeah. And that's the best thing that could ever happen to you is having nothing to do.
Yeah, it's a total gift. And I think something that I always say to my clients is rest can be the most productive thing that you can do. It's not
for your body.
It's not unproductive to rest by any means. Yeah. Because if that allows you to show up as a better person, friend, family member, whatever it is, then it's the most productive thing that you could do for yourself, especially even as like an employee, as a worker. Yeah. So again, I think what we're coming to is that intention behind what you do will save your life. Intention behind your work, intention behind your relationships, intention behind your rest. I mean, there's no excuse. Like, God rested on the seventh day. Okay?
Yeah.
If God rested on the seventh day, like, you can fucking take a break and calm down. And it's going to be there. Like, the next thing is going to be there. And can you allow this balance of not losing motivation and a desire, but also being really tender with yourself? And I think that answers the question of how we cope with this.
Yeah. I also think one last thing to add to that, you just made me think about this, is like when you do the things that like bring you happiness and like joy and increase dopamine and stuff, like that does increase your motivation. That does make you want to do all those things that are really hard and the responsibilities. So
Absolutely.
I think, I agree.
Yeah.
Also, side note, we don't have to put this in here, but when you meet a psychologist, this is important. Don't ask them if they're reading your mind or they can like, they know exactly who you are. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I actually feel like
times.
whenever I meet someone and they find out I'm a therapist, they're like, so what's wrong with me?
Yeah. Someone got fully mad at me that I wasn't diagnosing them.
Yeah, I was
at
like,
a party.
babe, we're at a party. I
Yeah.
don't really want to do
I
that
was just
right
like,
now.
oh my God, I thought this was a normal conversation.
Totally.
And, yeah, so just side note, please don't
That's
do
a good side note. Yeah, I think
it made me think about that when we were talking about
yeah, I think to wrap it up, bringing purpose back into what you do is the most important thing, to not give into this culture that is obsessed with what comes next. Stay in the now. It sounds cliche, but the now is going to hold you and propel you into even more light and flourishment. So on that note, Sara, thanks for being with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So exciting.
Hey everyone, welcome to How We Cope podcast, a podcast dedicated to elevating your life by your host, Nicole and Sara. This podcast is sponsored by Culver City Chevrolet, where you can lease a Chevy Equinox for $189 a month. Mention you're a subscriber of How We Cope podcast to unlock the special deal.